NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
It is priceless and must be nurtured so it can develop for it to reflect in society. Because no society can effectively exist and progress without well-defined values and culture. Charity, they say, begins at home, so these values should start from the family. Family values involve all the ideas of how you want to live your family life, and they're passed on from generation to generation. They can help define behavior in various situations, help youths make good choices as they are the foundation of how children grow and solidify the bond that your family has. However, experts have attributed the problems confronting the nation today to breakdown of values in the family. Therefore, the need to strengthen family values have become mandatory because if the family as the fabric of the society is built up properly, the society will be cohesive and stronger. Nevertheless, how well have we fared as a nation in promoting family values?
Our family values vary from culture to culture, and it's also embedded in nowadays our two major religions. So it depends which side of the divide you fall. Like my son is residing here with me in Abuja. I'm a Yoruba man, so I had to teach him when he wakes up. I have to show him how to prostrate and say Ekarosa and stuff like that.
When I was growing as a child, my parents taught me how to be disciplined, number one. Taught me how to be God-fearing, because when someone is God-fearing, anywhere you are, you can maintain that ability.
Parents have to put a lot of efforts in making sure they give their children basic education and a good moral upbringing. Actually, I want to impart a very good value to my children, knowing that if you do something good, you're going to benefit people around the society and all that, and that the opposite of it, which is bad character, can lead you in so many places, like as it can be disastrous.
When you talk about family values, I discovered when we were growing up, this is one of the things we held very serious in our lives. But looking at the generation that we are in now, it looks to me as if family value has been lost. Because when you see a lot of things that are happening, if actually we have family values, we wouldn't get into all these problems that we are having today. Like somebody like myself, whatever I want to do, I want to look at the effect in my family. If such has a drastic effect in my family, I wouldn't do that because my family comes first than anything.
In our society now, we do not have strong values for family. I didn't grow up to experience the love of mother and father, sharing the same bed, being in the middle, and, I only grew up to understand other people's perspective as mothers, not as your biological mother. And so I would say it hasn't really made me a better person because I have challenges and I'm still going through because of that basic foundation I never had.
Indeed, there is a great need to reawaken family values. To identify what your values are and the values of your family, it is necessary to get a clear picture of what that actually means. For example, love and respect, communication, empathy, tolerance, honesty, hard work, forgiveness, patience, responsibility, self-discipline, unity, humility, and much more. These moral values gives birth to social values, which consist of peace, justice, freedom, equality, being courteous in your interactions, volunteering time and skills in the community, and being generous with what you have. Therefore, it is a collective responsibility to restore the cultural values and ethics of the Nigerian society. As part of the designed efforts to showcase the country's greatness, sovereignty, and socio-economic viability to the outside world. So what are you doing to promote family values?
Was there any time Nigeria was not Nigeria?
At that time, in the 1950s, principles mattered. Today, it is not principle, opportunism.
It was part of the first set of Nigerian cadets that started the Nigerian Navy.
You cannot say you love God if you don't love your country.
Which one did I prefer at that time? And I said, the one that called me evil genius. You are evil, you are a genius.
Once you lay the right foundation at primary school, the sky is the limit.
I don't say we should knock off where you come from, because that's really what helps to mold you into what you are.
When I became president, it was estimated that 60% of our people were living below the poverty data.
Hello and welcome to NTA Nationwide. I am Elizabeth Banu. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo says he is delighted by the determination of Nigerians, particularly traditional rulers, to make sacrifices for the good of the nation. The acting president was speaking at the breaking of fast with top northern traditional rulers at the presidential villa, Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo says it is heartwarming to know that the country has leaders, particularly traditional ones, who are prepared to make sacrifices, concessions and compromise for the good of the nation. The acting president, who joined top northern traditional rulers to observe breaking of fast at the State House, explains that the nation requires the kind of maturity and leadership that the traditional rulers have displayed.
Our faithfulness, even to the lives of those who have gone or made the supreme sacrifice for this nation, demands that we do everything in our power to keep our country together. And in any event, the greatest nations of the world are those nations that have the size as well as the human resources in particular, the endowed human resources to make the best of that size. And I think our nation has that. Our nation has that. And the mere fact that we are such a large nation, such a large number of us, and so well endowed in terms of human resources aside from natural resources, I think that we are in the best possible position to not only be truly great, but to ensure that all of our people benefit from the greatness of our country.
Well, to strengthen the acting president, give him more wisdom to continue to steer the ship of our great country, especially at this critical time
which I believe, and I've always said it, challenging time, but when there are challenges, real men rise up to face the challenges, and we will, inshallah, surmount those challenges and come out much stronger and much better country.
For this gesture, and the Almighty Allah to give this country peace, development and progress for all the challenges we have in this country. And I pray this month, all the lessons learned in the month of Ramadan will go a long way to giving us more sort of peace in this country, and also continue with love for one another, care for one another, and also happy.
While thanking the monarchs for the guidance and support for the Buhari administration, Acting President Osinbajo appealed for more of the support for the good of the nation. From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The National Space Research and Development Agency, NAFSDA, has said that the appearance of the first astronomical lunar crescent for the month of June 2017, which signifies the end of Ramadan fast, will be recorded in Nigeria on the 25th of June 2017 between the hours of 6:29 p.m. and 8:40 p.m.
Press statement, Head Media and Corporate Affairs of the agency, Dr. Felix I, said the first appearance of the moon can only be sighted with naked eyes given a very cloudless sky without any atmospheric disturbance, while the first lunar crescent can be best sighted with the aid of charged coupled device imaging, astronomical telescope, or any optical astronomy instrument. He explained that the proper sighting of the crescent will be officially announced by His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, to all Muslims in line with Islamic tradition. The space agency explained that the first astronomical lunar crescent on the 25th of June 2017 between 6:29 p.m. and 8:40 p.m. will have Port Harcourt, Adamawa, Maiduguri, Taraba and Damaturu as first to witness the appearance of the first young lunar crescent at about 6:29 p.m. concurrently to 7:20 p.m., while the lunar crescent will be sighted lastly in Sokoto State between 7:49 p.m. to 8:40 p.m. Other states will experience the lunar crescent between the estimated time of 6:29 p.m. and 8:40 p.m. the 25th of June 2017.
Exploring renewable energy in Nigeria has been identified by experts as a good way to provide steady, reliable and cheaper electricity for Nigerians, as well as protecting the environment from the hazard of carbon dioxide emissions. They were speaking on NTA's breakfast show, Good Morning Nigeria. Joy Uzo.
Renewable sources of energy is making waves around the world as the best alternative to enjoying reliable electricity. This is because it is naturally generated through the sun and wind, among others. Experts on the program who noted that it is globally being harnessed wonder why Nigeria is yet to tap into the potential of these sources that are easily accessible in the nation. They say although there are frameworks and policies already drawn up by the nation to this effect, there must be a holistic approach to tackle challenges inhibiting Nigeria for effective implementation.
One of the issues to bring costs down, especially for Nigeria, is that maintenance is comparatively expensive here. And that has to do with the lack of quality control and quality assessment.
One thing that might be hindering the progress of renewables is the awareness of it. Thus, most people perceive it as a very expensive technology.
While making reference to the success stories of families and entrepreneurs who are already benefiting hugely from it as against the cost of maintaining electricity generation via generators commonly used, the guests say initial costs of financing might pose a challenge, but beneficial at the long run.
I had a diesel generator and I was burning on the average between 50 to 70,000 naira every month on diesel. Now, for 4 years, if I just assume I was burning about 50,000 naira per month in 4 years, that would be like, that should be close to, 600,000 naira in a year. And then over 4 years, you multiply. In the long run, from my own experience, I've recovered my investment in these installations within these 4 years.
Renewable energy is not just buying something, it's a way of life. Once you are keen to it, it becomes an opportunity to create jobs, industries. There's no reason why we cannot set up bank for energy or renewable energy for the common good.
A recent report by the International Renewable Energy Agency indicates that global renewable energy employment for 2016 stood at 9.8 million. The girls say if assessed, aside from contributing to the national grid, will create jobs for millions of unemployed Nigerians and guarantee protection of the environment from hazards of the regular traditional means of generating electricity in the country. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
As the Kaduna Inland Dry Port is to commence full operations this year. Minister of Transport Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, while expecting the project, expressed optimism that it will create employment, boost local and national economy. Oina Ekaloka reports.
Congestion is the central challenge in almost all the seaports in Nigeria, leading to loss of man-hour and revenue. Recent developments in the transportation sector bring a ray of hope as the federal government perfects plan to develop inland dry ports in the 6 geological zones, starting with the North Central in Kaduna. The Kaduna Inland Dry Port was conceived as part of federal government's effort to decongest the seaports and bring shipping services closer to the hinterland. This dry port has the capacity to handle 29,000 containers annually. Sitting on a 5 hectares of land with a provision for expansion, the modern dry port is housing terminal cargo handling equipment to facilitate quick delivery.
Everything you can do in a port in Lagos, you can also do here.
Excited by this development, Transportation Minister Chibuike Rotimi Amechi promised to leave no stone unturned in ensuring the completion of the project before the end of this year, as well as to hasten the process of connecting the port to the rail line.
The rail lines will soon start running before the end of the year. We are doing everything possible to ensure that we create jobs and make all the necessary infrastructures that will make business seamless.
Governor Nasru El-Rufai of Kaduna State on his part promised to put the road leading to the port in good shape.
The road will be reconstructed into a concrete pavement to be able to carry the road. We don't want to repeat the problem of a parked port. We only want entrance and exit, so we'll work with you to build another road so there will be 2 entrances and exits.
These are ports of destination and ports of origin.
The port manager Rotimi Remi called on the northern states and business communities of Chad, Niger Republic, Cameroon and Central Africa to take advantage of the proximity of the ports.
We can export from here direct to abroad, and you can import direct from abroad down here.
For the host community, the port will transform Kaduna into a business and commercial hub of the north. The Kaduna Inland Dry Port is the first of its kind in Nigeria. From Kaduna, Oina Ekaloka, NTA News.
For Nigeria to attain water-related goal of the Sustainable Development Goals, all relevant partners must scale up efforts. The Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, said this at an interactive session in Abuja on partnership for expanded water supply, sanitation and hygiene, pre-wash initiative. Musba Dan Wahab reports.
My pleasure and singular honor to
President Yemi Osinbajo fact of the Partnership for Expanded Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene pre-wash initiative. It is an initiative to serve as umbrella for other intervention programs by governments and development partners as Nigeria works towards attaining improved access to water supply and sanitation before or by year 2030. Alas, since then, nothing much has changed. Attempt to track the level of progress shows that greater commitment has been required for desired outcomes to be achieved. So far, only 12 out of the 36 states and the FCT have indicated interest to adopt the initiative, with Ogun and Kano states now selected for the pilot project. The federal government says it is set to take the lead.
A budget has been approved for the ministry to kickstart the projects within the 2017 Appropriation Act.
Again, the charge goes to the development partners to improve the pace of work.
You know, you should always look
from your mistakes. If you don't learn from your mistakes, then you have a problem. We didn't achieve the MDGs, and there will be no excuse now for us not to achieve the MDGs. We have 15 years to do this, and I think we're on course. I just hope that subsequent administrations will continue with the effort that we have commenced.
For the years 2016 to 2018, there is a cumulative figure of close to $7 billion to support the PWASH.
The Water Resources Ministry believes PWASH has the potential to solve all water supply and sanitation-related challenges in Nigeria if well implemented. In Abuja, Musbal and Wahab, NTA News.
The arraignment of the suspects alleged to have kidnapped 5 students and 3 staff of Turkish school has been stalled at the Federal High Court in Abuja due to lack of competent interpreter. Ali Utukwu reports that the 5 suspects who claimed not to understand English apart from Pidgin appeared in court without a counsel.
They've long been served with a copy of the charges, so it is left for them to communicate with their family, and they have access to who. If they say they want to represent their family members, to get lawyers for them, they are free. So it depends. Maybe they're not making the request, but if after arraignment, I'm sure their family will get in touch with them and get them lawyers that will represent them.
Presiding Judge Justice John Soho adjourned the matter to Wednesday, 21st of this month for arraignment when the court provides competent interpreter. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. You're watching NTA Nationwide. Kidnapped Ekpe school students to return soon, and Jennifer brings us details of this and more. It's up to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 2, Adamu Ibrahim, has assured the public, especially parents of kidnapped students of the Lagos State Model College, Igbonla Ekpe, that efforts are being intensified to ensure safe return of the word. Sausula reports.
Speaking to Government House correspondents after a closed-door meeting with Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode at Lagos House in Ikeja, the Assistant Inspector General said that security agencies were working tirelessly to ensure the return of the students and reunite them with their families. Ibrahim vowed that the police in Lagos and Ogun commands were battle ready and have been alerted to make the zone too hot for criminal elements to carry out their nefarious activities, adding that the police would build on the success of the arrest of the notorious kidnap kingpin Chukwudumeme Onwa-Dike, otherwise known as Evans, and hunt down other criminal elements.
So all of us I want to ensure that there's total peace in the state.
The Assistant Inspector General also commended the Lagos State government for efforts at improving the security architecture in the states. In Lagos, Osula, NTA News.
Nigerians have been urged to leverage on the provision of the recently enacted National Health Act to strengthen the healthcare system. A legal luminary, Obiajulu Nmache of the Faculty of Law, University of Lagos, by delivering a public lecture at the National Open University of Nigeria in Lagos. Jane Ujuku has the report.
Many Nigerians are either unaware of their rights to health or lack the confidence that the existing legal framework could be enforceable. This has impacted negatively on the nation's healthcare system, resulting in high rates of negligence by health practitioners and overall decay in the system, as people hardly demand for their rights to health or take legal action to seek redress when they are violated. In his lecture titled Securing the Rights to Health in Nigeria under the framework of the National Health Act, Dr. Obiajulu Nnamuche explained that if properly enforced, the National Health Act 2014 can put the nation's healthcare system on the right track and reduce the rate of medical tourism among Nigerians.
If you feel violated, you can approach a lawyer. Any lawyer can go to court, or if you think can argue the case, you can go to court on your own. Money shouldn't be an issue because there are lawyers who are prepared to handle your case for free.
The lecture was described as apt and timely.
The provision says that they are not justiciable, meaning that you cannot get access easily in the courts, but it shouldn't be. The importance of health in society. So we feel that they should be made. There should be accessibility for all persons that seek redress once they feel that their health has been infringed upon.
It's not lack of law or regulations. It's lack of goodwill of the people that is our problem. That act, as I said, is very comprehensive. Detailed provision for service providers and for users.
Others noted that the dwindling life expectancy among Nigerians might not be unconnected to the widespread low access to quality health care. They described the lecture as a wake-up call on the citizenry to play their part in securing their rights to health using the instrument of the National Health Act. In Lagos, Jane Ojuku, NTA News.
Of Defense Malam Mansour Mohammed Dan Ali has affirmed the federal government's commitment to the welfare of retired military personnel. He stated this in a message during the personal ceremony of trainees of the Armed Forces Settlement Center, Oshodi, Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi compiles the report.
The Minister of Defense was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ambassador Danjuma Acheni, enjoined the graduates to make judicious use of the knowledge acquired during the training to better their lives. He urged them not to relent in contributing their quota towards nation building.
As ambassadors of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, and indeed the nation at large, you are also obliged to reflect the core values of loyalty, integrity, and unalloyed service, particularly in the area of national security.
The Commandant, Nigerian Armed Forces Resettlement Center, Air Vice Marshal Augustine Chekono, commended the grounds for a successful training course. He advised them to be law-abiding citizens during retirement.
Our mission at NAFRIC is to give quality training to personnel of the armed forces who are about to retire from active service. So we play a very crucial role in preparing military personnel for life after service.
Certificates represented to outstanding candidates. Some of the graduates comment.
As a registered surveyor, I will practice to be useful to the society.
I want to go to farming, which I know that is the most essential thing one can do today.
The 6-month training course was attended by 294 candidates. This include 270 from Army, 18 from Navy, and 7 from the Air Force.
You're still watching Nationwide News. Back to Elizabeth Abuja for more on Nationwide News.
Thank you, Jennifer. The acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, has approved the redeployment of 3 permanent secretaries. In a statement conveyed through the Director of Communication, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Haruna Imrana, said the handing and taking over should be completed on or before 30th of this month. The role of the media in informing and educating the public has again been described as pivotal towards the growth and development of the country. This was by the Executive Secretary of Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Abdullahi Bafa, while on a courtesy visit to the management of the Voice of Nigeria to strengthen partnership. Olajide Bello reports.
Tertiary Education Trust Fund was established as an intervention agency in the education sector under the Third Fund Act of 2011. Since inception, the fund has played an important role towards reversing the infrastructural decay and funding challenges identified as some of the major problems facing tertiary institutions in Nigeria. In view of its mandate, the Abdullahi Bafa administration places premium on sensitization and information dissemination of Third Fund's activities.
access clinic that we have conducted was purposely intended to assist beneficiary institutions that have some outstanding fund lying at debt fund to be able to access and judiciously utilize them. We have finished the clinic, and from the time we have finished the clinic early last month to date, more than 50% of this unaccessed fund have been cleared.
Commending Tetford for rejuvenating and reinforcing the education sector, Director General of Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu, emphasized the need for a joint committee for effective dissemination of Tetford's activities.
But it was as if you went away with the present tutorial that if you don't train people, they can't get employment or employ themselves. So for Tetford to deploy the funds, I've met up with Mr. President's position as well on transparency.
He reiterated Voice of Nigeria's commitment to strengthen the existing partnership for the greater good of the nation. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has transited to a new frequency platform as provided by its satellite operator, the Intelsat. The NTA network service will now be received on these satellite transmission parameters. Satellite IS 903 at 325.50, frequency 3952 to 3925.264 megahertz. The carrier for the network service transmission on the new frequency began on Monday, 19th June 2017. Keeping an eye on the child, Kaduna State government moves to check malnutrition. Let's now join Abdullahi in Kaduna. It's over to you.
Here, Elizabeth. The tactical operation against kidnappers on Abuja, Kaduna and Zaria highways by the Nigerian police has led to the arrest of more than 8 notorious kidnapped kingpins. The Kaduna State Commissioner of Police argued with this revelation, emphasizing that this was achieved barely a week after the operation was launched in Kaduna. Benny Adams has details.
The arrest is coming on the heels of the tactical operation launched by the Office of the Inspector General of Police on the Abuja, Kaduna and Zaria highways. Commissioner of Police, Kaduna State Command, Agioli Abi, disclosed that the kidnappers were apprehended by a combined team of intelligence agents who tracked suspected criminals through their phone activities.
Arrested about 8 of them, and interestingly, we got victims to come around and take a look at them through our processes. No direct contact, but each of these victims were very consistent about the identification of these suspects.
Some of the kidnapped victims share their experiences.
We survived in that bush. We returned with no water and demanding for money. And the women among us, we were raping them. They even killed about 3 of them. The ones who met the other day said they killed 2 people among them. We that were inside killed 1 person.
As patrols on these highways continue by the security outfits, it is expected that the reign of criminality on these routes will be a thing of the past. In Kaduna, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Wife of the governor of Kaduna State, Garba Rufai, called on media organizations to join in the campaign to eradicate malnutrition among children through their programs and daily reports. She made the call when she paid a courtesy visit to the management of NTA Network Center. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
The Malnutrition Emergency Action Plan was born following the declaration of Kaduna State as malnutrition endemic state by the United Nations Children Education Fund, with over 1.6 million children suffering from one form of malnutrition or the other. To sensitize mothers on the danger, heading up, led by the wife of Kaduna State Governor Garba Rufai, visited the NTA Kaduna Network Center. Then the elaborate discussion on areas of collaboration as well as steps taken towards eradicating malnutrition among children.
With NTA, we're looking at programs and even food demonstration programs that we could be able to showcase malnutrition is about and how we can put local recipes together on food stuff that we find available at home.
The zonal director, while responding, noted that the NTA Kaduna Network Center has enough health programs that educate people on the issues of malnutrition and will continue to support such humanitarian efforts aimed at saving lives.
Showcase what you are doing and get across to target audience, and we'll see about if we can get prime time for it to reach the home.
The state government has already procured ready-to-use food and other medicines for management of children with acute malnutrition across the 23 local government areas in the states. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umarajingi, NTA News.
Elizabeth, that is it from here. I'm sure you're ready to continue the news. Elizabeth.
Thank you, Abdullahi. The need for international community, government at all levels, and other private organizations to take drastic steps for immediate support of refugees in focus as the world marks Refugee Day. This and more after the break.
You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play. We want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Imperatives of economic diversification, which way for solid minerals development. This is the focus on this week's edition of Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live, incisive, informative, and educative. Join us.
The Future Assured project of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, is carrying out free medical screening and distribution of food items at various IDP camps while ensuring the economic empowerment of women through training and skill acquisition. In recognition of her efforts, wives of governors have lent their voices and support.
In Kogi State, we feel the impact of Future Assured, especially in women and children.
The Future Assured program of Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari, the wife of the president, has been very assuring and still reassuring in Sokoto State. It has impacted positively in the area of humanity, especially women and children.
Supports the Future Assured initiative. Email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
FIFA Confederation Cup Russia 2017 on Quest Free Sports for the fan.
Imagine being without your phone for 2 weeks. Imagine being without your car for 2 weeks. Imagine being without electricity for 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks is definitely a big deal. Introducing StarTimes 2 for 2 promo. Subscribe for 2 months on any bouquet and get 2 weeks free of exciting content like the International Champions Cup, FIFA Confederations Cup, all FIFA competitions, enthralling Nollywood flicks, intriguing Bollywood scenes, stimulating telenovelas, SpongeBob, Dora the Explorer, and fantastic kiddies programs, all for free. Recharge now and get 2 weeks free. Keep the children and your entire family entertained during this summer holiday. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
Thanks for staying with us on NTA Nationwide. There are currently about 65 million refugees in the world, including Nigeria. The theme for this year's celebration is We Stand Together with Refugees and IDPs. Let's now join Adebola Brooksley Sunday at ECOWAS Commission Abuja, venue of this year's World Refugee Day.
Thank you, studio. For emphasis, June 20 every year is the United Nations World Refugees Day. It's a day set aside to identify with families who flee their hometown or their country home as a result of violence or conflicts, seeking refuge in other countries. Presently, I'm with the UNHCR representative to Nigeria and the ECOWAS. Can you tell us the significance of this day?
Thank you. This day is very important because the institution of asylum, people seeking protection in other countries, has become an important part of the protection of people fleeing conflict, violence, etc. You remember that one of the most famous refugees in Africa was actually somebody called Jesus Christ. He ran away from Israel and came to Egypt precisely because he was seeking asylum. And asylum is an institution all countries need to protect because that gives hope to people who otherwise are victims of conflict.
Okay, now we have about 1,409 refugees residents in Nigeria. Do you think they are getting the maximum support and help from the Nigerian government?
Indeed, they are getting support. Whether it is enough, it is never enough. In fact, the situation of refugee itself is, shall we say, a very unsatisfactory, it should be transient and not a permanent situation. And therefore, you would be fully satisfied the moment you have a situation where the refugee is no longer a refugee because he either has returned back to his country or he has been accepted in the society where he has come to live as an integral part of that society. In that situation, then yes, you can say that it is a satisfactory solution to his situation.
All right, thank you very much, the country rep to Nigeria and ECOWAS. All right, studios, as the event unfolds, I will be updating you with other issues as we celebrate these people with uncommon courage, not just to live, but to persevere and live dignified lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Debola. In the meantime, the federal government says it will continue to accommodate stranded Africans and refugees. Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk, said this at the distribution of food items at the refugees transit camp in Nyanya, Gwandara.
The delegation on arrival at the community located a few kilometers away from the federal capital territory was received by occupants of the transit camp.
And run away in order to save their lives.
After paying tributes to the refugees and assure them of continuous support, representatives from ECOWAS and other development partners handed over the items to the leadership of the camp.
We have these people at heart, and we care about them, and as the theme of this year's Refugee Day, so we're here to pay our solidarity with them as well as to empathize with them.
It's for us to make sure that our member states will have prosperity, that the ECOWAS Commission will make policies that will help the sub-region to grow. So the fact that we give some food items to refugees is part of what we are supposed to do, by ECOWAS standard.
We need the solidarity of every country and all society to make sure that we find a durable solution for people to live in dignity and in peace.
Statistics shows that there are at least 65 million refugees in the world.
I was facing a lot of challenges. I thank God with Nigerian government.
As we all know in Africa, Nigeria, they play a big role. We call them the big brothers of Africa. They are trying, though they're facing their own challenges with of the IDPs, but still they pick to still meet up with our own challenges.
The theme for this year's celebration is We Stand Together. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Nigeria on the move in self-sufficiency in food production as new technology to increase yield and rice production is applied. Let's now join Ngozi in Enugu for more.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and welcome to Enugu Network Center. Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi has reiterated his administration's commitment towards creating an environment and programs that will bring governance closer to the people. The governor was speaking during a rally in support and appreciation of good governance in the state. Ijoma Ugweke has the details.
The rally was to appreciate the present administration on its giant strides in 2 years. It also offered opportunity for traders in Enugu State to show their solidarity to Governor Ugwuanyi, noting that his recent program on Traders Empowerment Scheme, where 100 traders win 50,000 naira every month, prompt payment of workers' salaries and security, have enhanced business activities in the state.
We are committed in showing loyalty and sacrifice to your government. Your outstanding ability to build a link between the government and traders have simply strengthened and they revive people too in democracy.
Governor Ugwuanyi, while appreciating the support the people of the state accorded his administration, promised people-oriented governance. He said the present administration will continue to initiate programs to make Enugu State the hub of business activities in the southeast.
You gave us your massive support during the elections and brought us into office. The Traders Empowerment Scheme is part of the effort being made by this administration to boost economic activities in the state and to improve the lives of ordinary members of the society.
Meanwhile, most markets in the state were shut down in Enugu. Ijoma Ugweke, NTA News.
A one-day capacity building for rice farmers on new technology in processing rice to enhance its quality has ended at Ezama Adani in Uzuwani local government area of Enugu State. The training organized by Enugu State Fadama Free Project Additional Financing had in attendance rural farmers selected from various clusters in Uzuwani. Chinenwoye reports.
The new approach to rice processing, known as false bottom and lead technology, involves 4 stages, starting with weighing to determine the quantity, washing to remove the chaff, soaking of the paddy, parboiling with steam, and drying. According to the project engineer, Mr. Godson Onugu, the old system does not enhance the quality of rice, while the new technology brings out the actual rice and its values. The resource person said the new processing method is more economical. The new method, he said, produces rice that can compete with others produced in developed countries. Mr. Ede advised rice farmers to take advantage of the new method to grow their economy and increase their income.
You wash the paddy rice severally to remove the debris and other impurities that are in the rice. Why you wash it severally is that it will help you to get a cleaner, a better quality paddy that you are going to soak.
Some of the farmers who spoke on the issue agreed that the new method is the best. The new technology is fabricated locally at an affordable rate. The fabricator, Christian Ayibo, stated that it is really the best. From Ezama Adani, Chinewoye, NTA News.
That's all from Enugu. Continue to stay on. Elizabeth Bano has more.
Thank you, Ngozi. The Niger State High Court has slated September 11 for the trial of alleged corruption charges against former Governor Mu'azu Babangida Aliyu and PDP governorship candidate in the 2015 general elections, Omar Mohamed Nasco. This follows the dismissal of the second accused person's preliminary objection predicated on the court's lack of jurisdiction to entertain the matter. Mukhtar Abubakar Wobo reports that the court ordered that the state PDP chairman, Tanko Beji, who was included in the second amended charge, be remanded in prison pending the ruling on his bail application.
Justice Muhammad Aliyu Mayaki ruled that it is on record that the court did not direct that the accused persons be put in record before granting the application for leave to amend the prosecution force amended charge, saying leave to amend the charge is not necessary. The court, while describing the amended charge as competent, says the preliminary objection of the second accused person does not exist and therefore dismissed the notice of the preliminary objection predicated on jurisdiction.
It was merely meant to delay the trial. So basically, we agree with the Honorable Court's ruling.
We will confide our client and we'll look at the position of the law properly and know when to take the appropriate step.
The EFCC Council, however, drew the attention of the court to their second amended charge, urging the court to grant leave and accept. The court, having no objection from parties, granted the second amended charge, read the charges to 3 accused persons, to which they pleaded not guilty. The bail application of the Niger State PDP chairman, Tanko Beji, was argued. The court, however, ordered that the first and third accused persons, Dr. Mu'azu Babangida Aliyu and Omar Mohamed Nasco, should continue to enjoy bail under the initial conditions, and ordered that the second accused person, Tanko Beji, be remanded in prison custody pending the ruling on his bail application scheduled for 23rd of June 2017. Mukhtar Abubakar, NTA News.
NDLA hands over 5,000 tons of expired drugs to NAFDAC as rice farmers receive assistance from Fadama in Plateau State. Femichit brings us details of this and more.
Welcome to Jos. The Plateau State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has handed over 5,580 tons of expired drugs to the National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC. State Commander NDLEA Ibrahim Braji, while briefing newsmen, said the command has also intercepted 31 cartons of psychotropic substances. Boards has details.
The NDLEA State Coordinator Ibrahim Braji said the expired drugs were evacuated from a warehouse allegedly belonging to one Jude Okoye, also known as Zuma, who was said to have been sanctioned by NAFDAC as a first-time offender in 2015.
We recovered about 5,580 kilograms of expired drugs. It was also discovered that in the year 2015, particularly October, NAFDAC fined the same suspect the sum of 100,000 for sales of expired drugs to people injured.
North Central Zonal Coordinator, NAFDAC, represented by Assistant Chief Regulatory Officer Gabriel Philip, who received the expired drugs from the NDLEA State Command, said the suspect will be charged to court.
We still have his letter undertaking. We still have a warning letter, the last warning letter that was given to him, which will now enable us to take further action.
The alleged culprit hypocrite Jude Okoye denied allegations made against him.
I have not been caught in such a case.
You were caught for expired drugs in 2015 and you were given a fine of 200,000 naira, which you paid in 2 installments.
No.
So,
It's not you. It's not true.
are you not Zuma?
It's a family name.
2 suspects conveying psychotropic substance to Gombe State were also arrested in Shandam by officers and men of the NDLEA. In Jos, Kim Gotts, NTA News.
Further 3 additional financing phase 1 and 2 is partnering with an agro group to assist rice farmers on the plateau. Project coordinator Chief Gideon Dandam said the group will also train and visit farms. Red Lot has the details.
Going by the statistics that Nigeria spent 1 billion naira daily on rice importation and 365 billion naira annually, the federal government is encouraging more farmers to go into rice farming. As a result, farmers from various local government areas in Plateau State were present to add to their knowledge of rice farming. The Fadama 3 coordinator said with funds from the World Bank, registered farmers will only pay 50% of the total cost of their farming expenses, while Fadama pays the other 50%.
If you need a farmer herbicides to apply on a low-yielding variety, is also a waste of resources.
The Director General, Plateau State Microfinance Agency and Enterprise, noted that the state Fadama has another pilot scheme for youths in the state.
We have identified land which is up to 75%, and we are going to strictly dedicate it to empower youths strictly on rice value chain.
The facilitator from Springfield educated the farmers on the level of soil moisture needed, the right time and quantity to apply herbicide per hectare. Jos Red Lot, NTA News.
The need for Nigerians to unite and work towards sustaining oneness and development of the country has been emphasized. Acting Zonal Director, NTA Network Center, Jos Nuruddin Additional Idris gave the charge during a special presentation of gifts to winners of the maiden edition of the Center's Ramadan Quiz. Abba Abubakar Yakubu reports.
Ramadan Quiz is a phone-in program created for Muslim audience with the aim of motivating them on education and research in order to update their knowledge on various aspects of the teachings of Islam. The acting zonal director, NTA Network Center, Jos, Mr. Nuruddin Additional Idris, said that the idea of the program was conceived by a staff of the center who is not a Muslim. He promised to ensure the program is sustained.
When you say you are a good ambassador of Islam, that means you represent Islam very, very well. In your action with people, you show love. In your action with people, you accommodate, you tolerate them.
Presenters of the program, Ridwan Imam and Abu Aisha bin Mustafa, said the program being the maiden edition was successful. Guest speaker at the event, Ustaz Sani bin Salihu, admonished Muslims to extend the lessons they have learned during the Ramadan to the rest of their remaining days on earth.
Anybody who says the prayer, the Hamsa Salawat, but he doesn't care about the needy, it's as if the prayer is not even equal to the person.
There was a presentation of gifts to winners of the Ramadan Quiz, where some of them received up to 7 prizes. Outgoing Assistant Director News, Malam Shehu Said, and General Manager NTA Sports, Abdurrahman Ibn Mohammed, among other guests, appealed to Muslim community of the center to continue exhibiting commitment to ensure unity and development in the state. In Jos, Abba Abubakar Yakubu, NTA News.
And it's a wrap from Jos. Elizabeth, it's back to you for more news.
Thank you, Femichit. Now, the recent attack on Muslims near the Finsbury Mosque in North London has continued to attract condemnation from different quarters, and Bilkisu Abdulrazak Udoye brings us an update.
The horrific incidents which left one